Hello, everybody. My name is Eddie Laporte, and I am the Executive Director of the New Jersey Office of Faith-Based Initiatives. This webinar will focus on how to create and submit your interim report. Please make sure to use Safari, Firefox, or Microsoft Edge. Do not use Google Chrome, as Google Chrome is not compatible with Sage. These steps are the same for social innovation, which includes college readiness, trades, STEM, youth entrepreneurship, and the Freedom School Planning Grants. They're also the same steps for Project Atlas, for special projects, which include services to seniors and food security, and the seed projects, the seed programs. Okay. So you access Sage. This is your Sage. This is our test site. You click login. And now you have to get to your application. So you're already in the executed status. You hover over documents, click documents, and you expand the drop-down box, and then it won't be this busy. You'll only see your category. It may be social innovation, it may be Project Atlas, it may be special projects, it may be seed. But right now I'm looking for social innovation because that's the application we're going to do the steps in. All right, so it'll be Social Innovation 2026 or Project Atlas 2026 or Special Projects 2026 or Seed 2026. And then you come over to the status drop-down box and you find and click Executed and you click Search. And then you'll see the name, the funding category, the name of the organization, and then this link. You click this link. You hover over related documents and messages, and you won't see all this. This is a test site. You'll see initiate an OFBI Social Innovation Quarter 1 interim report, right? So remember, the reporting period is from 7/1/25 to 12/30/25. Let me click this again. And you'll click I agree. Sage takes Sage. So you hover over Forms menu and you come down a cover page, you click cover page. All right, and then these are your reporting periods, right? So you'll click July 1 to December 31st. And then you'll have to fill all this out here. So I'm just gonna write test. But you would put, your mailing address and all that good stuff there. ST, city, test, state, um, Jersey zip code 0, 1. Miss anything with an asterisk needs to be completed. Test. I'm just writing test to go through this. Telephone number is 00000. Then, so under contact information, you fill that out. Contact information, person completing the fiscal form, you fill that out. And on the bottom here, the bottom left, you click this checkoff box, which says before checking this box, the grantee fiscal officer and executive director hereby certify that the information contained in this or by direct services report, or it'll say, oh, yeah, is true in all respects, and that the program activities and expenditures reflected therein are in accordance with the provisions of the grant. Okay, great. You come up to the top, you click Save. Or you can click Save Next. All right, then you hover over Forms menu and you come down to the demographic page. So this is a reporting period. This is a reporting period for July 1 to December 31st. I just didn't see something here. Uh, to December 31st. And so if you didn't implement the program because you just got the funding in October and then there's planning, then you would just leave all this, you would just put zeros in here. Zero. Let me just put zero, 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 zero. Oops. Zero, zero. And then you go up to the top and you click save. And then you hover over Forms menu and you click the narrative. And then in the narrative, if you didn't do a program because you didn't have funding, I mean, because you got the funding so late and you're waiting until the next quarter, which is January, beginning in January, then you're going to have to indicate in this information what have you done thus far from July 1 to December 31st. There must have been some planning going on, some meetings. If you implemented a program, we want to know, what was the progress, and each of these bullet points you'll have to answer. So I'm just going to write tests. And then for the primary accomplishments, you need to answer these bullets. Primary challenges, for a lot of you is, not getting my charity's registration number, working with OFBI to try to figure out my division of revenue number. You might want to put that in there. Changes in program organization. Have there been new for hires, people released, primary training and technical assistance needs? What are your primary training technical assistance needs? Um, um, do you have a website? Have you used it? Are people going on it? And then what are your next steps for the next internal report? So you need to answer that. Go up to the top, click Save Next. And then if you didn't do a program and if you didn't spend any money, then you just leave these pages blank. However, if you did spend money, you're going to have to justify those expenditures in your narrative. You're going to have to justify it in your narrative. How did you spend the money? Primary accomplishments, summary of progress and activities. In the section A, you're going to have to justify how you spent that money and why you spent the money. Um, so let's go to personnel. We'll assume that you didn't do anything. Now listen, here's what you need to do also. You see this column here, grant, it says approved expenditures, grant funds, right? And then fund from other sources and the total, right? Make sure that the grant funds column is the information for this column is inserted under grants from state expended. And if you're going to expend any of your in-kind or funds from other sources, make sure that it's in here. Here's the other deal. You can't exceed what's already budgeted in either column here. You just can't. You just can't arbitrarily spend different from what you already budgeted. So we're going to assume this reporting period, nothing happened because you all got the money so late and you're just in the planning stages. If you did spend, you have to insert in here what you spent it on. How much you spent. All right. You click save. I'm going to assume that nothing happened. For the Freedom School Planning Grants, there are some expenditures that you've already had that you can make, and so you'll need to justify any additional expenditures. And then under consultant contractors, if you have any. If you don't have any consultant contractors, leave it blank. If you do and you expended some funding there, then indicate what that dollar amount is. And then you're supposed to also indicate to us why that money was spent during this reporting period. All right, let's go up to the top and click Save. I'm going to assume nothing happened this reporting period. We expect that the bulk of the expenditures will happen during the next period, which is January to June. All right, come down, other cost categories. If you had other cost categories and you made expenditures, or maybe some expenditures that you made here, nominal at best, then insert them in the appropriate column. Grant funds expenditures column go under here, and funds from other sources go under this column. If you're only budgeted for $1,500 on the grant funds, you can't say you spent $1,600. Okay. So let's say you didn't spend anything. So let's go up to the top and click Save. Hover over Performance menu, and you click the fiscal link. And then all you need to do here is come down to the bottom, click the bottom, check the checkbox on the bottom left that says we certify that the foregoing budgetary information is true and correct, and that all expenditures are to be incurred solely for the purpose of the above grant. Since we didn't spend anything, all you need to do is, even if you spent anything, the next thing you need to do is come to the top and click Save. And then to submit it, all you need to do is hover over Status Changes, apply the status under Interim Report Submitted. And then you click I agree. And the application, the interim report is submitted. You'll see under here, under current status, it'll say interim report submitted. Remember, the reporting period is 7/1/25 to 12/30/25, and this report is due January 30th, 2026. I mean, the reporting period is 7/1/25 to 12/31/25, and the due date is January 30th, 2026. All right. Thanks a lot.